Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. I'm Angie Sims. If this is your first time here, welcome. Before we get started, yes, my hair is a mess. It is my day off. I didn't want to comb it right now. I have it in what I call a messy bun. So just disregard the hair. Yeah, so this might be a little bit of a long video. We're gonna see if my phone decides to cooperate, if I have to divide it into several videos, go from there. So I think we'll start this video off with the books, bleh, can't talk, the books that I have read in October. Then we will discuss the books I plan to read for November, this month. And then I figured we'll end it with the, little book haul that I have. Now, like I've said before in several videos, I am no longer buying physical books because I do not have the space for any more physical books right now. When we move into a bigger place next year, then we'll start getting. So, the physical books that I will show in the book haul for this video and future videos are either books my mother has gotten for me when she's gone through shopping, or it's books that I've had in my collection that's just been stored away for so long that I don't remember what the heck I have. This has been so long. And the others I'll explain later on in this video. So, without further ado, let's talk about the books I've read in October. Now, I feel like these first three books I've talked about before in another video, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it again. I don't care. So, the first book that I read, and I'm sorry I don't have pictures, is these all the books I read in October were ebooks, either through the library that I had checked out or on Kindle Unlimited. So I don't have the pictures, and I forgot to bring my iPad over to this corner. Not my iPad, but my tablet. So there won't be any pictures, unfortunately. So the first book I read was called No Witness by Nora Roberts. And I gave this one 3.5 stars. This book was recommended to me by my best friend. A friend of hers gave it to her. She read it. She loved it. And she wanted me to read it. I read it. I like the way it was written. I was enjoying the story. But then at about page 200, I'm sorry if I keep looking down because I'm looking at my notes in my reading journal. After about page 200, the story kind of basically changed, and it started being the point of view of the chief of police there in the book. And it kind of threw me off and kind of confused me on what was going on. And then during that part, there was about 3 pages of literally non-stop sex talk. Now, I know there's readers out there that love books with, a lot of spies, and that's just not really me. I don't really care for books with a lot of spies or a lot of sex talk or any sexual content in it. I just don't like reading about it. And then after that, it just felt like the story kind of dragged a bit after that. So that was why I gave it a 3.5. A 3.5 because the sex talk, and it was just way too much of it. But other than that, it was a good story. It is about a young girl who basically her whole life, her mother is like super protective. Her mother has all these different schedules for her, what to eat, what to do, when to do it, kind of thing. And this one particular day, her mom leaves on this business trip or something, leaves her home alone, and she decides to go out with a schoolmate. They get fake IDs and they decide to go to a club because they are underage. And they end up, while they're there, they meet these two guys who claim to be cousins who own said club. And they go home with these cousins, and one of the girls ends up witnessing one of the cousins and her friend get murdered. And so basically she's on the run because she finds out they were part of a Russian mafia who is now after her. And that's how the story goes. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to give any spoilers. Does this mean I will not read any more Nora Roberts books? No. I will continue to read her books. This happens to be my first Nora Roberts book that I did read. I was really hoping to really like it. Fortunately, I did like it, just not as much as I thought I would. But I will try to read more of her books and kind of go from there. Anyway, the second book that I read, No Witness, was an ebook that I got from the library. The second book that I read was a free book that was on an ebook that was free on Amazon. I don't know if it's still free right now. You can check. But it is called The Tasting Menu by Stuart McBride. And I give this 4 stars. The story was good, but it really wasn't my favorite. There was some suspense, but not enough of what suspense that I was looking for. This takes place in Ireland. Is it Ireland or Scotland? One of the two. Either Ireland or Scotland. I want to say Scotland. And it's about these 3 friends that they score reservations for this very exclusive restaurant that's located on this private island. And to get to it, you have to take a boat to it. And while they're there, things happen. And you find out things are not what they seem. We'll just put it that way. I did feel like there was times in the story where it kind of got a little boring, like it kind of slowed down a little too much for my taste. And the way the plot twist was written, it was a good plot twist, but I felt like it kind of felt flat, like it was just thrown there kind of thing to me. Other than that, I liked it. It was a short story, so it wasn't too long. I would still recommend it to those who like a spooky story that's not spooky, if that makes sense. Then that might be a story for you. I gotta turn pages here. The third book that I read, this one was also from the library, is called Shutter by Lori Faria Stellars. She is one of my favorite authors since I was a teenager. I've read a lot of her books. I own a few. Actually, Shutter was not through the library. The library did not have Shutter as an ebook, weirdly enough. Like, I could not find it. Amazon, I tried to see if they had it on Kindle Unlimited. They did not, but they did have the ebook version, so I went ahead and bought it because I've been wanting to read this book of hers. And this book is about a girl named Julian. A boy named Julian, I'm so sorry. That shows up. Well, let me backtrack. It revolves around a girl, I believe her name is Day. She walks into this little corner store. It's kind of like a dollar store-ish kind of thing. Because she had a hankering for peanut butter taffy. And while she's there, she meets a mysterious boy named Julian. And she kind of follows him a bit. And he's acting kind of weird and picking up from trash. And she ends up finding out, the police come to her door, and she finds out Julian escaped a juvenile detention center. He was there originally because he was accused of murdering his father, And Date decides that she wants to help him out to prove whether or not he really did it. I love the story. The writing was fantastic. Her, Laurie Stolar, she knows how to write books. She knows how to put the suspense when and where. I devoured this story. I could not put this book down. I highly recommend this book and all of her books. And the last book that I read was The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. We need to talk about this book. So, Frida McFadden has recently become one of my favorite thriller authors, psychological thriller authors. My first book that I read of hers was Never Lie. I gave that one 5 stars. And then I was going to read The Inmate, but I didn't have the chance to. That was my plan for October. So that one I'll just put aside for now. Maybe I'll squeeze it in for this month. I'll see. But this book, I also gave it 5 stars. I think every Frida McFadden book I'm going to come across is going to be 5 stars. Like, I love her books. I love her writing. I love the plot twists. They're amazing. But this book called The Boyfriend has 2 timelines that you're following. The first timeline you're following is of a 34-year-old girl named Sophie, I believe is her name. And she's ready to settle down. She wants to find a guy, get married, have kids. And she dates a whole bunch of guys through a dating website called Cinch. And in the other timeline, you're following a high school boy named Tom as he's growing up through high school. And eventually, both of the timelines get together. They mix into one, and as you find out, Sophie has a best friend named Bonnie, and one day she ends up finding Bonnie murdered. And the whole story revolves around Bonnie's murder, who did it, and Sophie, while that's going on, Sophie meets a guy, and she feels like he might be the one. She really likes him, but he has a very awkward and weird past and aura around him, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't want to give any spoilers. This book was awesome. I totally did not see the plot coming. I mean, when I was reading the book, I was like, okay, this is what has to go on. And then, as I read some more, I was like, okay, maybe this is what's going on. No, I was completely way off from what I was thinking. But she is a very, very good writer. I will be reading more of her books. She's got so many books. All her books are actually on Kindle Unlimited, so that's actually really cool. So I do plan to read all her books that she's got on Kindle Unlimited. Hopefully whenever I get the chance. So that was all the books that I read in October, and I was actually very proud of myself that I was able to read 4 books in October. And I know I did make a video where I discussed my fall TBR. But I had to make some changes. Obviously, I mentioned that for October. And I also have to make some changes for this month. One of the books that I really wanted to read for November was the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. Fortunately, it's not on Kindle Unlimited, and the libraries around me for an ebook, the wait time is like 20 weeks on up, and they don't have a physical copy. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to read that book as much as I wanted to. Maybe eventually down the road, I'll get it. I know right now, I believe it's $2 as an ebook to purchase on Amazon. I'm kind of waiting to see if it goes on a little bit lower for when the Black Friday sale comes. maybe I'll snag it then. I'm not sure if I want to actually own a copy, only because there's a lot of mixed reviews on Goodreads regarding that book. So I'll see. I'll see how that goes. The other book that I want to read is the second book in that series, actually, by Lori Gilmore. I'm gonna try to read it. Hopefully, I don't need to read the Pumpkin Spice Cafe before reading it to understand what's going on. But this one's called The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lori Gilmore. Basically, it's a cozy. The whole series, it's a cozy mystery series. There's 3 books in that series. I currently have book 2 and 3 on my Kindle of it. I wasn't able to get the Pumpkin Spice Cafe one as of yet. But basically, it revolves around a bakery, and of course, a murder happens, and the bakery owner goes to investigate who did it. I tend to like cozy mysteries that revolve around food. My favorite one so far is Arsenic and Adobo. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So I'm hoping I like this one, and we'll see. The other one that I'd like to read is called Pumpkin Spice Puppy by Lorien Berenson. I don't remember what this one's about. However, what sold me on wanting it, I do have it on my Kindle. I believe I got it through NetGalley. It was an art copy from the author. But what sold me on it was there's the cutest little puppy on the cover. Wish I can show you a picture, but... Well, I can show you a black and white picture on my Kindle. If you guys want to just give me a little second here. It's under cozies. Hold on. Where's my cozies? Cozies. Okay, here we go. Okay. See if I can open it up, show you the picture, make it bigger. Come on. There we go. Tell me that's not the cutest cover you've ever seen. Isn't that cute? Yo, fluffies. But, yeah, so I plan to read that. And I do plan to read a fantasy book that I've gotten from Kindle Unlimited a while back. And it's just been sitting on my Kindle. And that is a Christian, fantasy called Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. I've been hearing a lot about it. I've heard it's really good. So, I plan to read that this month. I'm hoping. We'll see. Hopefully, because pretty sure the Pumpkin Spice Puppy and the Cinnamon Bookstore, they're rather short books, so I'll probably be able to do that. And then go from there. So that's what I've got for November. It's just 3 books. If I finish them early, I'll probably add some more books to that. I apologize, that is my wall clock. It is 10 o'clock, but that bird always sounds like it's depressed, so my husband and I would joke around and call it the depressed bird, and that is depressed o'clock. Yeah, so that's my November TBR and my wrap-up of October. I will be posting another video a little bit later on this month to go over my Christmas TBR. That one's a pretty big one, because there's a lot of Christmas books that I want to read. I don't know if I'll be able to read them all the way things are going, but we'll see. So, the book haul. I got a couple of books here. I'm gonna try to put them in order here so I can see here. Well, there's a couple of these. So most of them, again, are ebooks. I do have 2 physical books here that we'll get to. The first ebook that I got was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now, I know I have a physical copy of this book, but again, it's stored away with the rest of my books down in Florida. My mom is slowly mailing us some of her stuff to try to help us out a bit, and it has not gotten here yet. But this ebook edition was free on Amazon, so I got it. I figured, free, why not? I read The Great Gatsby when I was in high school, and I really enjoyed it. And I've always wanted to get my own copy, and I had found a copy of it when I was thrift shopping down in Florida. But like I said, it's stored away down in Florida, and to be able to have the ebook for free, that's even better. So basically, it revolves around Gatsby, who is a rich man, and it starts out where he is driving, and I want to say he was doing a night of partying, and he was under the influence, and it was late at night, and he accidentally hits and kills a woman, and out of fear, he drives off. And the whole story is everyone's trying to figure out who killed her and why. Meanwhile, you as a reader knows who did it, and Gatsby's trying to hide the fact that he was the one that did it, all while falling in love with a woman named Daisy, I believe is her name. I loved it. I want to say this took place in the 1920s. I could be wrong. But it was a very good book. The way that it's written, it's almost like you're reading a play, I believe. So that's really cool. Another book that I just got recently. It was completely free on Amazon, and it is called 25 Days, and the author's name is Jacobson. I don't see the first name. And basically it is a thriller book. There's 25 horror stories in it. I don't know what the horror stories are. I still have to do some research on it, but it's a Christmas thriller, and it was free, so I grabbed it. My plan with that is trying to, along with all the Christmas books that I want to read, I figured reading a story each day starting December 1st, kind of thing. But we will see. Another book that I got that was also free on Amazon is called Life Flight by Lynette Eason. Now, this is a Christian thriller. I've heard a lot about this author, and I've been wanting to read her books. I have so many of her books on my TBR. And when I saw this one was actually free right now, I snagged it. I don't remember what it's about. I do know it's revolving around a plane. I think it's a plane that gets hijacked while this girl is on it. So we'll go from there. Another book that I picked up was Murder on the Marshes by Claire Chase, I think it is. I don't know what this one was about. The cover on it looked really good, and it's got the word murder in it, so I figured, why not? And I love thrillers, so. And then there's 2 more books that I picked up, or one is I Think I Was Murdered, and the other one is Ambush, and they're both by a Christian author named Colleen Coble. I don't know what they're about but I am familiar with this author. A lot of Christian readers, this is one of their top favorite authors to read. All her books on Goodreads have really good reviews. However, these two books have not been released yet, so these are ARC copies. I believe I Think I Was Murdered is scheduled to release next year in January, and Ambush was scheduled, if I'm not mistaken, to come out in 2026. But being that all her books have, really good ratings on Goodreads, and she's a well-known Christian author, a lot of people love her, I've wanted to, get into her books, and I figured these two books would be the right ones to start with. But yeah, so those are all the ebooks that I recently got. Now, the two physical books that I got didn't come from a thrift store. My dog here had to get groomed, and while he was getting groomed, I had like 2 or 3 hours to spare. So I went and visited a couple of the little free libraries in the area, and I found 2 books. The first book that I found is called 12 Days of Book Club Mess. And here's the cover here. So what I found out when I did some research on this book, it was part of a book advent calendar that comes out every year from a website called onceuponabookclub.com. There's the website if you want to check it out. And as you can see, this one was from 2020. And basically, there's 12 little short stories in here that they're Christmas stories. And I figured that was actually really cute. And I think somebody highlighted in here. I don't know if they highlighted or if it was just printed in the book that way. So I figured this would be cute to read next month, since it's 12 days of book club miss stories, 12 stories. I figured I would start reading it December 13th, which just so happens to be my husband's birthday, and read 1 story a day until the last story would be Christmas Eve. The authors who have stories in here, there's Hazel Pryor, Margie Senechol, and I apologize if I mispronounce these names, T.M. Segal, Abby Steer, Juliet Madison, Jenny L. Smith, Tia Orion, Celisa Loeza, Christine Eckhart, Krista Hawley, Logan Ashley, and Wendy Waltrip. So, yeah, the only thing that would probably suck about this book is there's certain parts in the book, like right here, that you get to, where it'll say, open your gift. And unfortunately, I don't have the advent calendar set. It was just this book that was there. I did look into that advent calendar. This year's hasn't come out yet, but pre-orders are open for it right now. And that advent calendar, if you're interested, it does cost about $150, I believe, when I looked at it. But yeah. Oh, see right here, there's a little message here. It says, you're about to read 12 stories over the next 12 days of book club miss. To fully experience this box, please only read 1 story each day, starting on December 14th, in order to open your last gift on Christmas Day. Remember, don't open your gift until prompted. Join us for a full unboxing, cocoa, and cookies on Facebook and IG Live on December 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Happy reading. Signed, Once Upon a Book Club. Now, obviously, that day had passed because this was back in 2020. But I like the print. It's not too small, not too big, nice and clear. So, I can't wait to get into this one. And the last book that I picked up is called Seasons Under Heaven by Beverly LaHaye and Terry Blackstock. I don't know anything about this book, but I can read the back here. It says, what does a child's life-threatening illness cost a quiet suburban cul-de-sac? What joys can be hidden in life's greatest tragedies? Behind brightly lit windows and on front porches, marriages are tested and mended, hearts broken, hopes resurrected, dreams released and reformed, values and futures shaped, and Christian faith rekindled, or found for the first time. And there, bonds of friendship are formed as lives connect in ways only God can arrange. Sounds really good. This looks like it used to be a library book that somebody had. The reason why I decided to pick up the book was, one, look at that cover, look how cute. Two, it's a Christian book. Three, one of the authors is Terry Blackstock. I just started reading her books. I have her If I Live trilogy. Yeah, the first one's If I Live, and there's If I'm Found, and If I Run. I read the first book, loved it. I plan to read the next 2 books in her series. Probably January's TBR, it'll be on there, but we'll see. She's a Christian thriller book author. Very good writing, I love her. And Beverly LaHaye, I think, I don't know if I'll say it in here, but I think she is the wife of, I can't remember the other author's name, but his last name obviously is LaHaye, but he's one of the authors who wrote the Left Behind Christian thriller series. So I'm pretty sure, this is his wife. So I figured, I got his books, why not have one of hers? Let me see here. They have a checkout card back here. I wonder if they were not supposed to sell this book. But we'll be. That's his name, Tim LaHaye, and yes, that is her husband. He is the one who wrote the Left Behind books, or one of the ones who read the Left Behind books. So that's actually really cool. This book is a total of 333 pages. I'm guessing this book came out years ago. I'm trying to see the year that it actually came out. This book came out in 1999. I was 9 years old when this came out. So that's kind of pretty interesting there. The only reason why I kind of realized this book has been out for a while is because on the back here it shows 2 of Terry Blackstock books. It says, coming soon, October of 1999. We're in 2024. This book is almost as old as I am. Yeah. But I'll go ahead and give it a try. See if I like it. Really hoping I do, because I really want to get into more Christian books. But yeah, so that's the 2 physical books. I can't wait to read them both. And then you saw my stuff on my Kindle. I do have 2 Kindle cases on my Amazon wishlist that I really want to get eventually, just so I can, have different cases to switch out onto. And also, this one's kind of starting to scrape off after all the wear and tear. I do love this case. I'm sad that it does have a scratch, but it happens. Yeah. So that is everything. And, I do want to make a video. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I really want to do a hobbies video. I've been noticing a lot of YouTubers are doing that lately, and I thought it'd be really fun to do one myself to show you all my other hobbies that I like to do other than just reading. The reason why I don't know when I'm gonna do it is because